Welcome to the latest edition of the LL Spring Sports Roundtable from the fabulous Broadcast Center in 101 North Queen Street. My name is Mike Gross, and to my right is the Rhines. I'm mixing it up today because we're a little bit unorthodox today. Okay. And to my left, with the primitive Mike situation there, but he's a pro. Don't worry about it. He's a pro. He's Jason Guarente, and the whole deal is brought to you by Substitute Teachers Service. All right, let's start with tennis, because tennis is at the end of the regular season and into the playoffs.
Amazing.
Very much unlike the sports that I'm going to talk about. Go, Ryan.
We haven't even hit May, and there's already been one LL League championship crowned. Boys tennis. Lancaster Country Day, three-peat for the Cougars. They win the team title again. They beat Hempfield 3-1. Here's who won. Carson Weigel wins number 2 singles. And then Country Day gets both doubles champions got wins to help seal it. Carter Burkholder and Max Herr, they win number 2 doubles. Andrew Llanero and Ivan Benny win number 1 doubles. So they win both doubles, and Carson Weigel wins number 2 singles. That wrapped it up 3-1. So 3 championships in a row for Country Day. That's impressive. Take a bow, guys. Well done. Okay, next up, LL singles and doubles flight championships. So all the individual stuff here
we
starts.
love the flight play.
Flight play Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. Early rounds at CV and at McCaskey. Later rounds, including the championship on Monday at Conestoga Valley. Let's give you some names here. Here are the top seeds. AAA singles, you know him. Cooper Lehman from Hempfield. He's the 2-time reigning champ in 3A singles in the league. Zach Kuiper from Effort is the 2 seed, and Biseth Meng from Cedar Crest is the 3 seed. And Meng lost to Cooper in last year's championship, so we'll see if those guys get back and get a rematch. 2A number 1 seed, Michael Georgelis from Country Day. He was the runner-up here in this bracket last year to Niall Abadir, who we know and had an amazing career for Country Day. Carson Weigel from Country Day is the 2 seed. Cole Stoltz, who's from Pequot Valley, is the 3 seed. Doubles, number 1 seed in 3A, Cooper Lehman and Andre Hurst from Hempfield. 2A, number 1 seed, Georgelis and Weigel from Lancaster Country Day. Obviously, that's the first flight, top guys in the league. Thursday, Saturday, Monday for tennis, and tip of the cap again to Country Day for winning its 3rd straight LL tennis team championship.
All right.
Very nice.
Thank you, Ryan. That's tennis. I'm going to talk about softball. I think we had our game of the year in softball on Monday. Hempfield 3, Warwick 2 in 11 innings on a walk-off drive into the gap by a freshman, Rose Wendell. Now, this is after Hempfield is 2 outs away from losing 1-0 in 7 innings. Ooh. And Callie Pfeiffer with a towering drive, it's out of here, home run. We've got a tie ball game. Nice. And then Warwick scores in the top of the 10th. Ugh. Hempfield answers, and then we get to this. And also Pfeiffer also made a great catch in center field in extra innings and doubled the runner off second, because they have in softball, and when they go to extra innings, they have that automatic runner on second.
They do that.
Yeah, they do that. So anyway, and both teams got great pitching. Carly Ernst for Hempfield, Katie Schock for Warwick. 25 strikeouts between them. They were This was a really dramatic game with a walk-off ending, and as a result, Hempfield is 8-1 in Section 1. Township and Warwick are 7-2. So long way to go. These teams are all going to play each other again, but that was a big one and a really dramatic one, and we actually covered that game. Mike Polis for us wrote the gamer on that one. Section 2, I think we've undersold Solanco a little bit. They are 8-1. They are 10-2. Run differential. You know how I love to give the run differential. 146 to 25.
Pretty good.
They've scored 48 runs in their last 3 games. They won 7 in a row since losing to Ephrata. Obviously 8 games ago. E-Town is 7-2, Effort is 6-3 in that section. It looked like Ephrata for a while in that section, but now they're in 3rd place. Section 3, we talked about how dominant Donegal has been last week, but Elko hanging in there, and they have a very good pitcher, a kid named Carly Hess. Well, last Wednesday, Elko won, Donegal nothing.
Wow.
And they scored in the 8th. They used 2 pitchers. It was a really good win for Elko. But then they lost 2 in a row, and they played Donegal and Elko played again the other night, and Donegal won 15-0.
Wow.
I don't know. Anyway, Donegal with 1 loss, 10-1 overall. Elko 6-3, 2 games back after the 2 losses in a row. They also lost to Octorara 11-1
Wow.
Since then. They had a little trouble since then. Section 4. Again, this is another one. We've been talking about it, Northern Lebanon being dominant. Well, Anvil Cleona beat them last week. Anvil Cleona beat them 6-4, and they are now 9-1. And Northern Lebanon is 2 losses overall. They still only have 1 loss in the section, and they are going to play. They have to play again. So Northern Lebanon won the first meeting. They're 6-0. So a lot of the stuff that we thought was emphatically obvious in softball, it's kind of, the tables have been turned a little bit, but still a long way to go. That's softball.
Nice.
Jason, my man, what do you got for us?
We're going lax or track?
Let's go lax.
Lax. Section championships pretty much wrapped up. Manheim Township boys defeated Hempfield 13-11 Monday to clinch it outright.
Wow.
9-0, probably going to go undefeated in Section 1. The big story in Section 1 is who finishes second. Top 2 teams make the league playoffs. Hempfield and Penn Manor are tied for second. Today is Wednesday. They play tonight. So the winner of that game will get the second playoff spot out of Section 1. In Section 2, LS is undefeated, 9-0. They've won the section championship. Cocalico is second. Cocalico will also make the playoffs. So the 4 playoff teams will be Township Boys, the Hempfield Penn Manor winner, LS, and Cocalico. Even though we have 2 undefeated teams in league play, the scores have been very close. Some of these league games have been decided by 1 or 2 goals, so the playoffs should be interesting. It's not a rollover by any means. On the girls' side, Manheim Township girls are going to win Section 1. They're undefeated and really untested so far. Olivia Young, their leading scorer. It looks like they're going to run the table. LS and Cocalico girls seem destined to finish tied. They're both 8-1. They split their 2 meetings. They each play the teams tied for 3rd place, so it's possible if one of them trips up, there could be an outright champion, but most likely it's going to be LS and Cocalico sharing that title. And then Hempfield girls obviously would be the team to make the playoffs out of Section 1, so those would be the 4. Top 4 make it, go straight to the semifinals in lacrosse.
That's your lax report.
Yes.
Ryan's, give us a little volley.
Volleyball's getting good here. It's been great from the start. Section 1 has been bananas, but everything's sort of kind of taken shape here now. Everybody has 4 section matches left, so 2 more solid weeks here coming up with volleyball before the postseason. Section 1, Warwick out front. Remember, they lost their opener to Cedar Crest. They haven't lost since, and Warwick at 7-1. Got revenge against Cedar Crest this week. Beat the Falcons 3-0 to stay alone in first place. That's big. So Warwick out front, trying to win its 3rd straight section championship, which is impressive. Hempfield's on the 2 line. Knights are 6-2. Don't forget, they missed the LL playoffs last year for the first time ever. So ever. So they're motivated to get back. They're on the 2 line for now. Still a little bunched up here at the top. Penn Manor 4-3, Cedar Crest 4-3. Still in it here with 2 weeks to go. 2 matches to circle. Thursday this week, Cedar Crest at Penn Manor. That's huge. Winner stays within shouting distance. Loser drops back a peg and will probably be out of the LL playoff chase. Next week, April 30th, Hempfield at Warwick. So if those 2 can take care of business, that will be a first place match next week in Lidditz. Section 2, finally, I got to see Manheim Central play volleyball this week. We're halfway through the season and I hadn't seen the Barons. Defending section champ, defending league champ.
Now, when you walked in the gym, did they like throw debris at you?
No, but Craig Dietrich, their coach, was like, Reinhardt, where have you been? But
we've heard of you.
Yeah, they're really good. And I saw them play this week. They beat Cocalico in Denver. Cocalico was the second place team, 3-0 Barons. They were unbelievable. They're really good. They're going places in a month. Cocalico had its 5-match Section 2 winning streak snapped by the Barons on Tuesday. They're still safely in at number 2. Mennonite sneakily 5-3, still in it. Ephrata and E-Town both 4-4. Cocalico still has to play those teams. Eagles still have to play Mennonite, Ephrata, and E-Town. So something could still happen there with the 2 line, but nobody's touching Manheim Central. They're amazing. Last night of league play is May 9th, which is like really soon. So Barons, impressive.
All right.
Really good.
Very good. Let's talk a little baseball. I'm going to start with Section 4 and go up this week. The most bulletproof team in our league, in the context of the section, I think, has been Northern Lebanon. And they're 9-0, 12-1. They play tonight at Peckway Valley, which is in second place. Chris Knight and I will be venturing to Peckway for that one.
Enjoy Kinzers.
But the Vikings, who doesn't?
I love
How
Kinzers.
can you not? It's impossible. Now, the team that we thought was the most bulletproof was maybe Donegal. And last week I covered them. They beat Garden Spot 2-1 in a very tight game at Clipper Magazine Stadium.
Nice.
And then they promptly lost 2 in a row since then. Manheim Central beat them on Monday, 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th, or the top of the 7th, to pull it out. So now Central has moved ahead of Garden Spot. Donegal 7-2 in the section, Central 6-3.
Whoa.
Central has a lot of talent. They haven't pitched that great, and there have been times when they've been blown out. Their run differential was 74-73.
Wow.
But it feels like they have the talent to challenge. I would still say Donegal's the best team in that section, but we'll see. Section 2, Ephrata rolling along. Nice. They're 8-1 in the section. LS is 6-3. E-Town now 5-4, struggling a little bit. Hempfield lost in what we thought was kind of a showdown to Penn Manor at Hempfield last week. After that, Penn Manor lost 2 in a row. They kind of were caught with second line pitching against Cedar Crest beat them. So it's Hempfield 7-1, Penn Manor 7-2. And Township, which has been playing pretty well lately, now 6-3. And again, these teams all have to play each other again. So we have a long way to go in baseball. But yeah, the thing that has surprised me a little bit, the big news I think is what's happened to Donegal a little bit, where that became a pennant race again in Section 3. All right, Jason, you're up. Track and field, my man.
Track and field, Alondra Montijo Ortiz, Conestoga Valley
Fun
Senior.
to say.
It is three names. Remember them because she's the fastest 100-meter sprinter in LL girls history.
How about that?
11.89 seconds. Faster than Roxanne Morton of McCaskey, who ran 11.91 in 1988.
Wow.
Reagan Hess of Annville, Cleona, ran
one.
11.92 in about 6 or 7 years ago. So all-time record, and sprint records tend to be extremely difficult to break.
Yeah, that's true. Active
in the LL, the 100, 200, and 400 record holders, with Cadell Howard of Cedar Crest owning the second 2.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing time to put the LL girls in perspective this season. There are 15 individual events in District 3, Class 3A. LL has the fastest time or distance in 8 of them.
Wow.
Which is more than half. Cadell Howard in the 200 and 400, Hempfield's Ella Wolf in the 3200, Penn Manor's Brianna Lee in the high jump, Penn Manor's Kate Harnish in the long jump, Soraya Wiggum of Lebanon in the triple jump, and Eliana Schneider of Cedar Crest in the javelin. So that's more than half of the individual events.
Wow.
LL has a chance to get district gold. And there's a lot of other kids who are knocking on the door. They're close. The big news on the boys' side, the same day Alondra ran the record time in the 100, it was at Wilson at the Leonard Steffen meet. Jaden Johnson ran a 10:61 in the 100. So
on the same track.
On the same track, on the same day. That's the third fastest time in LL history, the fastest in 20 years. The names ahead of of Jaden are Walter Wack of McCaskey, who's the standard, really, and Jaron Hayes of Cedar Crest.
Who was a state champion.
Yes,
wow.
So we're talking very rare company. And that's an FAT time. Maybe there was some wind that day, but still no one else ran 10:61. So that's incredible.
That's amazing.
Two other boys who are District 3 Class 3A leaders at this point, Adam Kingston at Manheim Township in the 3200, and Eddie Asadou, I mentioned him last week in the long jump at almost 23 feet. So they're in contention possibly for District Gold. I also wanted to mention Emery Plaza of McCaskey ran a 39:27 in the 300 hurdles. That's the 8th fastest time in the state. So that's, you get into the low 39s, anything under 39, and you're really moving in the 300 hurdles. So congrats to him.
Interesting.
All right, thanks.
Good stuff.
I guess that's it, gang. We're in the middle of the season here. We're well past the beginning, but we can't see the end yet, but we're rumbling along, except in tennis.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it, gang. This has been the Spring Sports Roundtable, brought to you by Substitute Teachers Service. This is Mike Gross, Jason Parente, Jeffrey Reinhardt, and we'll see you again soon.